Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Natalie and this is my art channel. This channel is all about creating art and inspire you to be more creative. So this month, even though we're a little bit into the month already, but whatever, I'm starting a 30-day challenge to create every day in my journal. I want to see what kind of a change I will see in myself, my mental health, and my self-care when I do art every day. Create. It doesn't end because this is a journal. I'm not talking about making, like finishing a page each day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just use it. Sometimes you don't like the page you were working on, you just go to the next page and then finish it later. I just want to establish an art practice to create every day, and I don't have a lot of time. I work a 40-hour job, so it will be short, maybe 10 minutes before work, maybe 10 minutes when I come home from work, whatever. Just to establish an art practice to see if my mental health will benefit from it, because there is evidence, and it's scientific proven, that art can help your mental state and help your emotional development, help work out emotions and stress and etc. So that is the objective of this challenge for one whole month. This is actually part of a bigger project I'm going to do. This is a testing phase of a bigger project will work on, the goal to work on, and it will be done probably at the end of spring, early summer, something like that. If you like more information on this, if you are a creative or like to be creative but don't know how to go about it, and we all have, let's face it, we all have sort of mental, emotional problems, and art could help with that. So if you feel that is totally me, then send me an email. I'll leave my email down there, and yeah, I would love to hear from you. I would love to talk to you. Okay, so let's get on with this video. Make some art. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we're gonna do some journaling today. I'm starting from scratch here. Actually, what I kind of was bad, because this is actually a really awesome sketchbook or just workbook or whatever. It's a Canson. It actually was at some point like this because I bought it for just doing paper artwork, but because I have another, I'll show you here, another journal that I started last year, and I'm probably gonna use as well in this challenge, or maybe after the challenge. I made my own. This was already a journal. This is more the right size, actually. This is already a journal, but it was just a written journal, and I just didn't do the exercise what you're supposed to do in this journal, so I decided to turn it into an art journal, which I used last year to do some journaling during COVID fun times, and they're still going on, of course. So what I was doing, I had to glue in other pieces of paper, like either watercolor paper or whatever paper, or whatever, or collages, whatever, so to make the pages thicker so I can actually work on it. So I could use this one, and I'm probably will eventually get on with this one more, because I didn't finish it actually. I wanted to go to December and only went to the end of September. So I looked everywhere. I didn't have a big enough. I have this one. First I thought I want to use this one, but I don't like it because it has these really there is no, the way it's bound is not really conducive to art journaling to me, because it's just hard to keep it open constantly. Like even just doing artwork in it is hard. So I don't know. I really like the pages. I really like the book. I just don't like the way it's bound. So, you know, lesson learned. I'm still going to use it for sketches. But in the future, I will make sure that it's either ring bound or like this one. Actually, this is ring bound too, isn't it? Oh, let's see. I don't know. Yes, it is. It's either like this, open ring, closed ring or open ring, or another one that has a fat back that is easier to take the pages out and work in the pages. Anyway, enough talked about the pages. So I actually cut this one apart. So now I have a little skinny long one, which I kind of want to use for maybe practicing landscapes and stuff. It's going to be like fun, I think, this one. And this one, which is not totally square, because I'm not very good at geometry. I started using this with sketches too, but what I like about this one, you actually can take the pages out. So when you really like a page, you can take it out and put it in your sketchbook portfolio, whatever, like, so you can work on it. Or maybe you can take pieces out and stick it somewhere else, whatever. It's more versatile. I'm gonna do the cover at some point, but I'm not doing that today. We're just gonna start doing some journaling. So what I'm gonna use for journaling, I usually love to work in watercolor, not watercolors, acrylics, because they're so versatile and they dry fairly fast. You can use them as watercolors actually if you really water them down. They're just like watercolor, or you can have them really thick like oil paint or layered. I just like that they're versatile. You can do different things with them, only with one medium, and they're water soluble, so you don't have to use extra. Like with the oil paint, you need this smelly, stinky lint oil, whatever it's called. So I don't have to do anything like that. Just water cleanup. Just the thing with acrylics is you have to make sure you wash your brushes as soon as you're done using them, because it dries so fast and it forms a film, and then it messes up your brushes. I can tell you I made that mistake many times. But I'm also going to use like crayons and pens, which I'm going to show you as soon as you can be overhead and see what I'm working on. The idea is not to have any idea, basically, not to have any outcome in mind. You just choose some colors you're attracted to at the moment, right now. You enjoy, you just like love to use them because they speak to you whatever way. And then just start painting. What I'm first going to do, because this is a journal, I'm going to write either with a pencil or a crayon or whatever, just words that I'm feeling at the moment, like whatever is in my head, I'm going to write on there, and then I start painting over it, kind of like getting rid of all that what's inside and put it on paper. So get it out there. Sometimes we have a hard time, right? Sometimes we can't talk about things, so this way you can kind of get it out. Okay, so I'll see you overhead. Okay, so we have all the goodies together. So what I recommend, if you start in journaling practice, make sure you buy or get excuse me, a book that has thick mixed media pages. Usually says it on the front. So, well, if you don't have that, you have to glue in other paper too, so you can work on top of it. Okay, so what we have here is different brushes, medium-sized brushes, smaller brushes. I even have some sponges. They're kind of old and bad, but whatever. Might be fun for texture. Put this over here for now. And I decided to go with very bright colors. So I have a yellow, an orange, red. This is sort of a medium blue. I don't even know what it's called. I can't read it. So it's blue. So another yellow here. I don't know if I'm going to use that. It's neon. And I have this fluid low viscosity acrylics here. It's in teal. So these are actually mostly all acrylic pouring paints. I still have tons of them left from my acrylic pouring phase, but I'm just gonna, they're perfect for journaling. I think they're gonna, not as thick, easier to move around. What I did is I put an old clipboard underneath here, so, and flipped it over. See, that's why it's good to have rings. That way you won't get the other page soaked if you put a lot of water or whatever on it. Now what I'm going to do first is get a pencil or a pencil crayon and I don't know, purple, doesn't matter. Let's just start writing my feelings and my emotions and whatever I feel right now on here. And then I'm just going to start painting. So let's do it. Okay, so this is done now. I also have a glass of water, of course. So I'm going to just put some paint on here. Okay, so without thinking anything, I'm just gonna grab whatever color I feel like and just start putting it down. See how soft this is? It's almost like watercolor. One thing you have to be mindful of is if you mix too many colors in at once, you're gonna just have mud, which, I mean, if you want mud, it doesn't really matter, I guess. It's about the art practice, not the outcome. But because you're just gonna have brown or black at the end, you might enjoy something that looks like more colorful or whatever, or maybe sad, I don't know, whatever you after. Okay, looks like it's fairly dry now. And I think it's time now, I was sitting here thinking about it, maybe it's time now we put a little bit of texture in here. So we have these sponges, like I mentioned before. Then I pulled out some stencils. If you don't have any stencils, you can make your own stencils out of, like you can make a potato stencil, right? You know, everybody made that in school. Like the water one and this one, you can also just go to the drugstore and get some stencils or stamps and stencils. Those are stamps, actually, not stencils. Blah. You can also use like pieces of cardboard cut out, yeah, it's just cut out, then you put it on here, and then you just paint around it, and then you lift it up, and then you have that is a stencil. Anyway, I'm gonna start. So, another thing, sorry, don't want to jump the gun here. I put some white and some black out here to contrast it a little bit, but you can use other colors too. I just decided to do that. Again, you can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you ideas and suggestions, and yeah. Okay, so this is almost dried up and it's close enough. Now comes the fun phase, I think. To kind of like put some movement back into there. And what I'm gonna use is I got a lot of, I can show you, tons of pens and pencils and markers and yeah. So I'm just gonna, I usually like to use the contrast ones, like black and white, pretty basic. Sometimes I like a blue or some silver. So it's just, this is a silver one. You can follow some lines if you want, or you just make up whatever. Again, it does not have to be perfect or any rhyme or reason for it, just go for it. An old Sharpie. This seems still to be working, that's good. Okay, back to the video. So I'm gonna keep this out of the way for a minute. I might still use that later. But now we're just gonna try to cover up what we don't like. And I decided to get real acrylic paint to do that because it's thicker and it's easier to cover up some stuff. Okay, so as you can see, my ego took over and I just painted all over it. Oops. But it's like a new canvas. Again, it's just, I'm gonna go in and just lighten it up. I'll get rid of some of this. I need to get the real orange. So obviously let this dry first. Don't do this before it dries. Turns into mud again. There. Just skip a step and just put it right on the paper. I just feel like doing some stripes. It's interesting. I don't know why. I could go on forever. Decided to take this yellow out because the didn't really work at the moment, of course, because I'm never prepared. I'm still playing with it. I still don't really like what I'm seeing, so I'm definitely gonna try to cover up some. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's almost dry. What I'm gonna do now is just writing some words that I feel now, and since it's done, went through this crazy up and down roller coaster, which is part of it. I have to find we couldn't use stencils again. I have actually letter stencils, but I'm just gonna, for the video purposes, I'm just going to use some paint. is part of it, the process, though. It's exactly what you need to go through to, you know, work things out. So at some point through this, I thought, oh my god, what I'm doing, I shouldn't have done, blah, blah, blah. I need to start filming again. No, this is all part of it. Just doing the short version instead of happiness, just too happy. There. So, if this kind of intrigued you or made you curious, and you do like to be more creative but don't know how, and struggle, we most of us do, then shoot me an email down below. I would love to talk to you. I like to talk to like-minded people to come up with a solution to make everybody's life better. I don't know if you spell progress like this, I guess so. To the C. Probably. I don't know, we're gonna fix it later. See, now I really like when it dries. The darkness really contrasts the lightness. I really enjoy that. And I'll leave let this dry for a second and then outline it. Make a couple more swirlies and then we're done. Oh, I spelled it right. Wow, English is not my forte. Okay. I have to stand up, so this is gonna be tricky to do it right. Piece of one in there. Let's sponge it up. It just looks like a graffiti wall. I think it came out really cool. That's better. Kind of like that. It's cute. Okay, enough playing. Could play all day here. And that's what happens. Okay, so that was a real big surprise. See what happens when you just let go and just fight, I guess, a little bit with the paint and with the paper or whatever and what you're using, but it's worth it at the end because I feel happier. I made progress with the whole painting and enjoy. I just kind of feel a relief. So we'll see. I highly recommend you doing the same thing and see what you feel. Anyway, this obviously was done in one day, but like I said, you can work on this all week long and progress. So that's what I have to try to do. Start a new page. Not tomorrow because I have another painting I'm painting on here, but on Monday, and yeah, simplify the process, I guess. Thanks for watching. Make sure you watch that other video. I have a video actually up that shows how I set up my journal. That the one that I showed you at the beginning, which was not a art journal, was a regular writing journal. So you're gonna go check that out. I'll link it somewhere. Yeah. So keep creating.